This week on Pivot with Purpose. Now I'm falling into the trap of the government and insurance companies and healthcare. It doesn't really cover much and nobody really takes the insurance. I'm searching everywhere for him to get an evaluation for autism with a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And the only way around the wait time and insurance is for you to pay cash. And cash was $1,800. Hey friend, you're listening to Pivot with Purpose. This is my show where I pivoted from shit I'm 30, where I was dreading turning 30. I had a failed marriage, failed engagement after that, and I don't have a relationship with my immediate family. But through it all, I came out the other side with a thriving business, an unexpected radio morning show of my own, and a platform where I can reach millions of people and help them walk in their truth. I am now celebrating every step of my journey into continuously finding my purpose, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Sometimes this journey looks like shit, and it probably sounds even worse, but it's still our journey, and I'm learning right along with you to enjoy it. There's always a rainbow after the rain falls. Now, if you need advice in pivoting in any aspect of your life, relationships, career, spirituality, send your questions or story to askcarlawomares@gmail.com or shoot me a DM at carlawomares. Now, let's start the show. Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode. How are you doing, my loves? I hope you're doing good. Summer's almost over. We're wrapping up. So I figured I would give you like a end of Q2, right? Q2 is 1, 2, 3, and then 3 to 6. Oh no, Q3, right? 7. Holy shit. We're like on the third quarter of the year. I don't even know what's going on right now, but I do want to say welcome back to another episode. Thank you for always tuning in, checking in with me. Today, like I said, it'll just be me, and I'll be talking about what I kind of have going on right now, what I feel, where I'm going, and just checking in with y'all. So before we do, I do want to touch into, our Florida news segment, because here I am in Florida. I was in Mexico for a couple of days. We'll talk about that later, but I landed on Sunday. And Sunday, it was a hurricane here. They were like, hey, Debbie showed up. And thank God that Central Florida wasn't affected as bad, but like they were turned over, RVs over by Cocoa Beach. There's flooding in South Florida and Tampa. I mean, in South Florida. Yeah, Fort Myers area. Tampa, Sarasota, like just flooding. So we are definitely in the midst of hurricane season. And I think like summertime, Florida means like, oh, we're having so much fun. But honestly, just a reminder, because I need to be reminded as well that we are definitely still in hurricane season. And there are different things that happen during hurricane season. There's tropical depressions, there's tropical storms, there's hurricanes. Now there are major hurricanes, which is like category 3, 4, and 5. So this one was just, I think, category 1. Again, to us Floridians, we're just chilling. That's just a little bit of extra rain. But what I do need everyone to know is that we all need to have an emergency kit, which I might have some of this stuff. I'm telling you, I know the Lord is protecting me, but I have a lot of this stuff. So we need a week's worth of non-perishable food, which I don't think I have a week's worth, but I definitely have some. 1 gallon of water per person per day. That I have it down packed because I have huge 5-gallon water thingies in the back. Like I have way too many because I keep forgetting to cancel my subscription or like make it a longer period of time. So I have like 10 5-gallon things back there. We're good with water. 2 weeks of supply of medication, flashlights, weather radio, which you should definitely get a weather radio, extra batteries, cash, cell phone chargers. And by the cell phone chargers, really it's the charger boxes. You know what I'm talking about? Those extra battery packs. That's what you really need, because when there's no power, you're screwed. And then if you use your car to charge, you get rid of gas. So it's a whole thing. First aid manual and first aid items, important documents, phone numbers, the contact information, a waterproof container. That one's a really important one. And I need to do it because I have all of my kids' social security numbers and birth certificates and things like that. And they do need to be in a waterproof container. Extra clothing and rain gear. I guess you do need that at your house. Necessities for your pets. I ain't got none of those no more. No, I don't want no more pets. And then non-electric can opener and disposable tableware. So make sure you have most of these things so you can make sure you're okay if you're in the Central Florida, well, in the Florida area or in any area that has to do with hurricanes, which they go to like the Carolinas, honestly. Jersey can get a hurricane. So make sure you have that because we still have a few more months left. And baby, yeah, Debbie came through and showed out. Now, there was something funny that I wanted to talk about when it comes to Debbie. That actually went a tad bit longer than I wanted it to go, because what I wanted to talk to you guys about was some $1 million worth of cocaine that came up in the shore of Miami with this Hurricane Debbie. And it was like Debbie came and blessed somebody. And I don't understand why this doesn't happen to me. I like to go to the beach. I hang out at the beach all the time. I love to swim over in the beach. I am like little fucking mermaid. Why doesn't one little square of cocaine fall on my lap? I don't understand. I don't understand. I just want cocaine to come up onto my shore. Okay? That's all I'm asking for, because I will tell you right now, no one will hear about it. Nobody. It's like sometimes you're being blessed in a way like you're not a drug dealer, but here it is. Take this. What's the point of giving it to the cops? You know, they're probably going to keep a little bit. They're going to make some money off of it. They're going to do some more corrupt things with it. You know, I do respect the system, but also I know there's a lot of corrupt shit going on. So it's like, hey, Debbie blesses me with some cocaine. I'm going to go sell it. Well, Debbie blessed somebody with $1 million worth and they went and turned it into the fucking police. You know what? It is what it is. Sometimes you just can't help people get out of their own way. You know, when you see people and they're like, have really, really unhealthy lifestyles or are crackheads and you can't get them to stop smoking that pipe, or they are gamblers and are gambling all their money away and they don't want to stop, nothing you can do about it. You know, that's how I feel about folks that just turn in kilos of cocaine. Why would you do that? Why? It's like they don't have a chip on them. Just sell that. Whatever. It is what it is. But that wasn't my Florida news. Hurricanes and more people turning in cocaine with the hurricane coming in, and it annoys me. But anywho, I want to give you in maybe like the next 25 minutes a few parts of my life that I want to give you updates from my mental health to how it's going with my kids and my parenting, my dating life. This, I don't know how in depth I'm going to get. I don't know. I don't know how much I can give you. I don't know. But if you follow me on social media, you know I have a subscribers tab. And whoever's on my subscribers tab, I add them to my close friends. So when I hang out sometimes, I'll show pictures on there. And like, I go a little bit more in depth with what's going on with my life, kids, and dating under that tab. Because I give a lot of information here on the pod because it's you and I, right? If you're here, you're invested. We are friends. We are besties. We hang out. So honestly, I don't feel the same as when I post to like all of social media about what the hell I got going on. I got to keep some things private and some things between just you and I, because this is where we've been for years, you know? I also want to talk about, you know, my business, how it's going. And then my big announcement that I can't really even make about a big project that I have going on. So let's start with my mental health. I actually feel pretty damn good. And I think a lot of that has to do with my last 2 trips that I took with Dex. We went to Miami and then we also went to Mexico. Last minute, we had to switch from St. Lucia to Mexico. We got our money back and like, we were like, what are we going to do? And literally within 2 seconds, we booked. It was, you know, a bit pricier than what we would have wanted it to be. But we were like, what do we work for? Let's just go. And it's her 40th birthday. She wanted to celebrate 40 days prior, 40 days after, and I'm here for it. So I think taking those days, you know, a weekend in Miami, 4 days in Mexico, kind of like letting go for a little bit helped me. And I feel kind of refreshed on that. And I'm okay with being home. I'm not so easily triggered. Like I feel okay. Although my therapist did cancel on me today and I haven't talked to her for weeks. I'm so ready to switch her as a therapist. Like, I don't know what she got going on, but other things are more important and her availability is not where I need it to be. So I think I'm going to start looking for a local therapist. It's just, I really love my virtual therapy with BetterHelp. I really do. I might just have to get a different therapist. You know, shit happens. Shit fucking happens. And maybe she has a lot of things going on. She's older. She's great, but whatever. So my mental health is good, but I am dealing with some things about feeling a lot of mom guilt and just feeling guilt altogether. Like I shouldn't be feeling okay, but I'll talk more about that when I get over to my big announcement and why I'm feeling that guilt. Now, my other really big news that I have, and I talked about it some on social media, but here I can maybe give you a little bit more of what's going on. Psalm is in his 3rd daycare. So the first daycare, I didn't speak on it on the podcast much because I wanted to be conscious of what I say when I say it and whose lives I can ruin at certain times. But so I was in a daycare for about 18 months, almost 2 years. No, about 2 years. And no, a year and a half. Okay, a year and a half. Let's leave it there. And the school was right by my house. Ayana went to that daycare, different management 18 years ago, but whatever. He was doing great. And then I started noticing like he wasn't sleeping. He was having more tantrums going in, but nothing out of the ordinary. There was a teacher there. Shout out to her. Her name was she was great. She really cared after him, sent me pictures, sent me videos, updated me with him throughout the day. But Psalm was now almost 3.5 and he wasn't being potty trained. I was trying at home, but nothing was working over there. I didn't feel like they were really assisting me with his potty training, and they weren't moving him up in class, obviously, because he's not potty trained. I felt like I started receiving more and more complaints about him, but like little things here and there, like he's not napping, he's not sleeping. And I'm like, well, why is he not sleeping? What's going on? He started getting a little bit more angry, and I wasn't understanding what was going on. Then one day, this is the kicker right here, which sorry, it took so long to get to the point. I am here working. I had a really bad headache. I took a nap for about an hour. When I wake up, I have a missed call and text message from the school. She's like, hey, are you busy? And it had been like 15 minutes. So I hit her back and I was like, hey, no, I'm free. Like, what's up? Is he okay? And she was like, well, can I call you? So I called and I'm like, what's up? And she's like, well, he's fine. Nothing has happened. But there was an incident and he's being suspended for 2 days. And I was like, what? I'm sorry. Run this back by me. Like, what happened? She's like, well, he's been trying to use the potty. We're trying to potty train him. And he ran out the bathroom without his pants on. And a little girl saw him. She told her mom. The mom was really upset. She complained. Okay, I said, all right. So let me take a step back. He came out of the bathroom without his pants while he's being potty trained in a room of other kids that are being potty trained. And the mom is upset. So because of this, he's going to get suspended. I was like, did he touch her? Did she touch him? Was he like playing with himself in front of people? Like there are all these different things that could have happened that would have absolutely been like uncomfortable, perhaps inappropriate. Like I'm not going to say my kid is absolutely perfect. He would never, like, I don't know. Like, tell me what happened. He's never done that, but shit happens. He's only 3. There's a lot of nevers there's a lot of things he's never done. So she's like, no, nothing like that happened. I'm like, he didn't go in front of the classroom. He wasn't doing the most. She was like, no, I'm like, she didn't touch him. He didn't touch her. No, I'm like, okay. So he just walked out of the bathroom without pants on while he's being potty trained. Like we had just started taking off his diapers like a week or 2 prior to that. So she was like, yeah, that's basically it. And I said, I don't understand. She's like, well, he just has to have a 2-day suspension. That's what the director decided on that. And I was like, the director, what is that going to do? A 2-day suspension. If he comes back now on Monday, this is Wednesday. If he comes back on Monday and he still doesn't want to wear his pants, like, what are we going to do? Why didn't you give me a warning? Where's the written warning? Where's I don't understand. Did you tell the other kid's mom, like, Psalm doesn't really speak? Maybe like he just started potty training. Like, what's up? Why didn't you tell me something first? And maybe I can like see at home if it's something that he's doing at home so I can try to correct. Nothing. She was like, no, the thing is that the mom is really upset. I said, this isn't making any sense to me. I'm going to call the director. She was like, yeah, here's the director's number. Call her, talk to her because it's her decision. I call the director and she was like, long story short, yeah, but you have to understand it's a little girl. And I just want her to know that we're doing something about it. Doing something about what? I said, why are you sexualizing my son? He wasn't doing anything sexual. He wasn't doing anything inappropriate. He wasn't doing anything that's not age appropriate. They're in a co-ed classroom. If you want to put your child in like an all-girls school, by all means, go do so. But that's not what this is. It's a co-ed classroom. They all have to go potty. They go in a line most of the time. So if a little girl or a little boy sees each other naked, they're not thinking sexual. They're thinking, they're not even thinking about it. They don't care. They're ready to go back to play with their shit. So she was like, no, but I want her to know we're doing something about it. And I said, well, what about me? What about me? What about my son? Why are we sitting here pretending like he did something wrong when he didn't? So I started to feel really nasty by the way she was talking to me. And I just didn't feel good. I felt like she was just didn't want Psalm there. And honey, one thing about it is if you don't want my son there, he don't got to be there. Like I'm paying you for him to be there. There are other places I can take him. If I feel this energy from you towards me and when you're speaking about him, I can only imagine what energy is being given to him while he's there. So I told her, hey, well, are you going to refund me these 2 days? Because for the next 2 days, he can't come. And where's the policy? I also asked, where's the policy to any of this? Show me in the handbook where it says that you can automatically suspend him. Where are the consequences? He's never done this before. Like, I'm so confused. This is not an issue that was happening. If he was been doing this every single day and it was something that was written warnings, like verbal warnings, but none of that. So she said she wouldn't refund me the 2 days, but if I wanted to, she'll refund me the whole week and I can take him somewhere else. I said, oh, so this is about me leaving with the baby. And she was like, no, I'm going to talk to the mom tomorrow. Just let me know. I'll let you know how it goes. The next day came around and she didn't say anything. And I hit her back up at like 5:00. And I said, hey, I haven't heard from you. And basically she said she was busy. And I was like, you know what? Send me my money for the week. And you don't have to see him again. Like, he won't go back. I went back the next day. I picked up his clothes. And a previous employee of that place said, I'm glad you're taking him. Like, he didn't need to be here. And it was a Black lady. And I was like, bet. Okay. She had been outside picking up some paperwork. So that happened. And I chose to not speak while I was really angry because I was angry. I wanted to do physical harm. I wanted to harm them in all kinds of ways. But I have learned in my lifetime, especially in the last couple of years, when things are like that and you're feeling like you really want to expose someone or you want to really do something, like, take a beat. Take a beat, because sometimes it's just not worth it. You're going to have way bigger issues coming up or bigger mountains that you have to move. And it just wasn't the time for me to speak on it. And now I can talk about it and just be like, it is what it is. So I take him out. I go into overdrive for the next 2 days. I find a second daycare. I found this new daycare. It was, a very nice daycare from the facility, right? The first thing I noticed when I went in, I told her, I was like, hey, we have, I've been thinking my son might be autistic. We're trying to find ways to get him evaluated. He doesn't speak much, but he can communicate. He's not one to play with other kids. He's not violent. He's not aggressive. None of that. He just probably won't sit longer than like 5 minutes in circle time. So she was like, oh yeah, it's fine. Cool. We got it. They put him in a classroom. Within the first week in this classroom, he is potty trained, like fully potty trained, except at night. We still use pull-ups at night, but like literally no more accidents. He was sleeping through his naps with no diaper. He was taking all of his naps. There's other place he wasn't sleeping. I was watching him on the cameras because I got this new daycare with cameras, sleeping. Like, they would have to wake him up. So he's in that classroom for 2 weeks. The teachers were amazing. Like, my God, the teachers were incredible. Those two teachers. Then they switch him over to a second classroom within those 2 weeks. Now, there's a lot of change going on here for Psalm. We're now 2 years in this one. Immediately we switch him to a different school. And now he's in a third classroom all within 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks, because we took him out and then 2 weeks he's there. 2 weeks he's in 3 different daycares. And I was like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of fast to move him. But she's like, no, he'll be fine. He's going to the kids that are already potty trained and a little bit older. I said, okay. From the second he got to that other classroom, the first day he slept. By the second day, there was no more sleeping. The second day, I'm here with Ariel at the house. We're watching them on the cameras. And there's like 4 people in that classroom watching him, kind of talking about him. He's not really sleeping. And then that's when the next 2 weeks kind of go downhill. Psalm starts kicking doors and banging his head. And I start getting incidents. He's opening the door to hear. And I'm like, what do you mean he's opening the door? He's trying to, whenever a parent comes in, he wants to go out. And I'm like, yeah, he's very curious about what's going on in the rest of the school. He's a climber. He's a runner. He can't tell you what he wants, but you have to kind of like find ways to figure out what he wants. And he's usually a loner. I told you all of this before he started. And the first 2 teachers recognized it, and they didn't have to be like on top of him, but they knew how to find ways to communicate with him. Well, these other 2 teachers, it wasn't it. The first thing I noticed was he was the only child of color in the classroom. The teachers were all Hispanic. The first 2, like I said, amazing. The second 2, I think that they just wanted him to be just like the other kids, and he didn't fit that mold. And the energy just wasn't there. You can feel the love with the energy with the first 2 teachers. Psalm is a kid that if you're mean to him or if you scream at him, he kind of retracts, and he can't think, right? And then he can't communicate very clearly. So it just becomes a disaster. In the midst of all of this, I'm trying to get him evaluated for autism. Come to find out, there's 18-month waits, 1 year waits. Like, I couldn't get him the the fastest way I can get him into an evaluation for autism or any type of behavioral concerns was April 2025. At this point, we're in June, July. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, I don't understand. How am I supposed to do this? I can't wait till April. I need this help for him. If he needs extra help, I need it. So finally, I'm freaking out. I'm like, I'm about to pull him from this daycare because now the second week, they already gave me some written reports like within the week one, and the teacher started calling me for a parent teacher conference. I told them, I was like, give me a second. This is his third week here. I'm trying to get him evaluated. I really just need some help because I don't know how to navigate this. I'm new to this. I go in for the parent teacher conference with the head director, and Spanish lady, she was like, yeah, I absolutely understand. I have a nephew or grandson or something with cerebral palsy. He's here, all these things. Next day, I got like 4 notifications, like incident report, saw him try to open the door, incident report, saw him try to open the gate to the playground, incident report, saw him kick the door, incident report, saw him won't take a nap. And it's not even 12. And threw a book at the teacher. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, that's not Psalm at all. So I'm watching the cameras and I'm watching that they're just kind of letting him do his own thing, not paying him any mind. And I packed my things up, stopped working, got him out the classroom. I didn't even look at the teacher. I grabbed the kid. I fucking left. And I said, I got to figure something out. And I got to figure something out quickly. So by that time, I'm searching everywhere for him to get an evaluation for autism with a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And the only way around the wait time and insurance is for you to pay cash. And cash was $1,800. Anywhere between $1,800 and $2,500, I was able to find the psychologist for OCPS, Orange County Public Schools, during the year. She was able to evaluate him. She's like, I can see him in 3 days. This is how much it cost. So what did I do? I paid the $1,800 and I had him evaluated within 2 weeks, which now we have it. He has been evaluated and diagnosed with autism level 2, ADHD, a speech disorder, and a language or speech delay and language disorder, which we already knew. The autism part, I didn't. I'm not really, I don't think I feel any type of like crazy way about it. More so of, I just need to get my son the extra attention that he needs. I feel like I'm a person that also learns in a very different way. I think in a very different way, but I'm also 37 years old now and I've had to navigate it on my own. So when I see him, when I interact with him, I do notice that he is a tiny bit different. And the difference is that he doesn't really keep eye contact. He kind of plays with you, adjacent to you most of the time. Like, he wants you to be there. He'll let you borrow his car, but he'll play next to you, not necessarily with you. So a little bit of those social skills, but he loves to like touch on you and hug with you and pull you to come see things and tell you to help me. He's also very independent. So this diagnosis freaked me out. Honestly, I have a lot of peace around it. I don't feel like he will live a life where he's completely disabled. One of the things about the test was that he's not intellectually disabled at all. So he's going to be okay. But now I have a hurdle to get him the help that he needs without him being labeled a problem child. Because the reality of it all is that he is a lot more active than most kids, but also like a lot of boys. He needs help with his speech, and his attention and social skills are a bit different. So he needs some extra help. And if he doesn't get that help or people don't understand him, he will be labeled a problem child as a Black boy in America. And that's something that I cannot have for my son. So now I'm falling into the trap of the government and insurance companies and healthcare. And I have private healthcare because I don't qualify for Medicaid anymore. It's extremely expensive. And apparently the thing that I have is Ambetter, is our health insurance. It doesn't really cover much and nobody really takes the insurance. And I got the insurance when I didn't think that anything like this was going to happen. I know his pediatrician took it, and I know the hospital we go to take it, and the urgent cares take it. That's all I thought I needed, right? As long as his pediatrician or for emergency is covered, I'm good. Well, behavioral therapy is a whole nother thing. He needs something called ABA therapy, and it's not covered. A lot of insurances don't take, or places don't take this insurance. There's wait times. It's just, It's been a disaster. I can't switch my insurance to anything else until October or November. But I have a big thing happening at the end of August, and I would like to leave him kind of situated. So that's where I am with that. I feel like I'm going to expand more on it and go more into depth on how that has been going. But just trust me, it's been another full time job of nonstop researching places, looking to see what insurance they take, looking for therapy for him, getting him the help that he needs. Yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to bring on more moms that have gone through this, and maybe you can educate yourself if you're not in this position of what it looks like. And sometimes you can say, "Hey, look, I listened to this episode to a new mom. Like the outpouring of love. Oh, this might make me emotional. Of love that I've received from my community, from you, the listeners, from my social media, from friends that is like, I have a friend that has a son, and every single person that has a child with autism. When I tell you the way they have received me with open arms and said, this shit is hard finding the help that you need. But once you have it, once you're there, the difference is insane and it's fast and it's great, but it's very difficult. So they have all really given me every resource when I call the autistic places, like the autism therapy places. And if I'm saying this wrong, I am so sorry because I don't even have all the lingo yet. Everybody in this community speaks in like code words like ABA, CPP, EBB, blah, 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 and I'm like, what are all these letters? Can we use words? So everybody has been extremely helpful. When I call the places, like I said, a lot of them are parents of autistic children that have already experienced it, and they're super nice. They are so understanding, so empathetic. So I'm truly, truly grateful for that. Yeah, I'll see where all of that goes next because we need the help, right? And I'm doing it on my own still. Zero help, zero. And I think that's for the best, for the better, for all of us. And God has been providing. So it is what it is. Ayana's doing fine. She's here. Love her. Being a teenager gets on my nerves half the time. I have to work on myself and not reacting towards her. But she's been super helpful with him. Aside from the things that really upset me, like around the house that are petty in a way, but she is a great help to me. And I'm hoping that I can help her as well on her own journey as a young woman. But she's hard headed just like I am. So I don't even know how that's going to work out. All right. So that's it. My parenting side. And then now, which should I update you on? Dating, business, or me leaving? Dating or business, dating or business, dating or business. Let's do business and then I'll do dating another time because there is your girl's been outside. I've been outside. I have met people. I have hung out with people. I have done adult things, We'll talk about dating later, but I'm still single. So I want y'all to know I'm single. Single's a dollar bill. Single, hella single. Okay. So, business wise, you guys know I'm a full-time entrepreneur and content creator and podcaster. So in my business, it's been going great. I want to give a huge shout out to my team, from Courtney to Kason to Angel to May to Warren, GP. Who else do I work with? My God. Jared, Aaron, and all of my clients that continue to trust me and allow me to continue to grow my business. I actually, yesterday, I tried to quit one of my productions. And you ever try to quit a job and they just don't let you quit? It's crazy. But God knows why everything happens. I'm just going to continue to know that I have to put myself and my team in a position to win and to not stress us out. Like our mental health, our emotional well-being, and our pockets are all important, but they all need to work together. Like if we have deep pockets, but our mental is not there, we can't do that. And I really do care about my team. And I do truly believe that as long as we stay, within our values, as long as we stay transparent, as long as we stay true to who we are, we'll continue growing. So the business is going great. I do feel a little unmotivated sometimes, but I feel like since I've been back, maybe I'm a little bit more re-energized, but it's hard to keep a momentum in your business. It's really hard. This solo episode should have been done weeks ago. And I've just been scared to do it. And why? It took me 3 seconds to write down what I wanted to talk about. And I'm already at 30 minutes. I already know that I can do this by myself. And I can do it virtually with other people. I don't know why I'm so in my head about creating content. So if you can, if you're listening to this, when you listen to it, if you haven't left a Apple Podcast review yet, please do so. I'm this time like truly asking you because I want to know and feel the difference that I'm making. If you've already left a review from your phone, leave one from your husband's phone, from your friend's phone, from your coworker's phone if they have an Apple iPhone. Just leave a review on Apple Podcasts for me. One is going to continue to help grow the show, but I feel like I need to feel connected to the people listening again. I feel a little bit disconnected. I'm very active in my stories and on social media, and I feel like I want to cut back some on my social media and bring it back here. Bring back here like my day to day and what's happening, and get closer to you in this manner. So I think that's a way that I can definitely connect with you on Apple Podcasts. Leave your at handle or your name so I can shout you out. I definitely want to read them and feel motivated to keep going because it's hard sometimes. It doesn't matter how much money you're making, if it's your passion, if it's your purpose. Sometimes you just need that extra push, and it takes your tribe to do so, and you're my tribe. So whether it's YouTube or Apple Podcasts, let me hear you. Actually, if it's YouTube, if there's the last thing that you do for this episode and you're listening to on audio, go on YouTube, follow my YouTube page, go to this video or any other video and leave a nice comment. Y'all, that it's about to be a year from the TK Kirkland episode. And when I tell you, it just goes viral every other fucking week. I have such ignorant people in my mentions and in my comments and putting thumbs down on my things. Like, it's just been so bad over in them YouTube streets. Thank God that I don't look at comments and they make me like flustered, like, oh my God, I'm this type of person. Like, no, it doesn't. But yeah, definitely help me out with getting motivated because I'm stressed. Okay. I'm a little stressed over here about work and staying the course, especially when I have like 2.5 weeks to really get it all together for the next 6 weeks. So then the last thing is my announcement. My announcement is that I will be taking a hiatus from everything. I'm leaving for up to 6 weeks. I don't know if it'll be 6 weeks. Hopefully it'll be the 6 weeks. If everything goes well. If not, it'll still be a great experience, but I will be leaving to film, and it's not a podcast. I can't say what I'm doing or where I'm going, which technically I don't know where I'm going. But what I can say is that I will be bulk recording some episodes. You'll be seeing a lot of my friends because I have a huge opportunity that has also made me feel like a little bit of mom guilt, a lot of bit of anxiousness. I've never been away from my kids for this long. I'm having to rely on friends, Ayana, daycare. Like, I have to rely in my community here at home to really help me with my kids. Well, really Psalm because Ayana's 19. But with my kid for 6 weeks, during these 6 weeks, I will have very, very limited communication with everyone. I'll be able to talk to them maybe once a week. Well, at least once a week. It's a huge opportunity for me. It's a huge opportunity for my business. And I'm taking it because I never do anything for myself. I take my vacations here and there. I'll do 3 days. I travel for work. I have really invested in myself professionally. Within the last year and a half, I've taken, my solo trip. I've gone on these 2 vacations with my friend. I'm trying to do more of that. But making a major decision for me that I would only do if perhaps I didn't have kids, or if I didn't have Psalm and Ayana was now grown, or if they were both grown. I feel like it's a decision that I'll be judged for. I'm scared of the judgment behind it. And that could just be me making it up because maybe no one is judging me in a negative way. But I feel like once it comes out, if it all goes well like it's supposed to, I might get that judgment of, oh my God, you left your kids for this. Like, what are you doing? But at the same time, I know that will only come from people who don't believe in themselves and don't want anything more, because every single person that knows what it is that's close to me, that has ambition, that is successful in their own way, not necessarily like millionaire successful, but successful in their life. They're happy. They're walking in their purpose. Every single one of them are so excited for me. No one has said anything negative. And I feel like in my head, I'm making up this idea of people being upset because I'm going to be leaving my kids behind or my business, or how dare I think that I'm good enough for what I'm about to do. And maybe that is a self thing. Now that I'm saying it, like as I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, is that what I believe? Because it really, sometimes I'm like, who do I think that I am to be able to be afforded this opportunity? Why am I special enough? Why do I deserve that? And that's, I think, a battle that's forever for me, because the things that happen at times, it's so hard to believe. And it's so hard to not even believe that there's a God, because it's like, I shouldn't get the opportunities that I get. The other day, I had told my team we were going to, let go of something. And within 3 hours, I was like, we just got to trust that something else will come into our fucking laps, Within 3 hours, I had received a phone call from someone that is like, what? How are you on my phone? Like, insane. So I just continue to know that I am walking in my purpose. And so are my team members, my friends. I'm surrounded by amazing people. Yeah. And we just got to keep going. We really just have to keep going. Today, I don't have a letter. Like I said, it was just like a little bit of a life update on what's going on with me lately. I'm sure things will continue to progress a lot. Just let's keep going. Don't forget to listen to the shows that we produce. We have Let's Try This Again with B. Simone. We have Across Generations, which we're in a mid-season break. But if you haven't caught up with that, all those episodes are great. I am on one of them as a guest for the mommy issues episode. The episode came out on first week of May, but it's on YouTube and on all the podcasts. I do open up a little bit there about my issues with my mother and how those mother wounds take place. But I'm also sitting across from Tiffany and Mrs. Crosby, who is the older generation. So we're all talking about these mother wounds, and it's a very emotional episode, but also like it makes you feel like you are not alone if you're going through that. So I do suggest that episode. I think I'm going to definitely do one here for myself as an update of where I am with my relationship and my yearning for a mother and how that has manifested in different ways. In totality with Megan Ashley, we also are producing that. Shout out to Courtney for that production constantly. Like he's so good on it, always on. We have Tiffany D. Lofton with How We Get Free coming back to the episode, especially right now during an election year, since she is an activist and, a mover and shaker. So shout out to her for everything that she does. And then also we're in an election couple of days. We're literally about to be in an election. My daughter saying that she doesn't want to vote right now. I don't know what's going on with this child. I don't know. She doesn't want to vote, and I'm super stressed out about it. And I know everyone has their own rights to choosing what they want to do, but at the same time, ignorance is not something that I'm okay with or fond of. And we live in a democracy. I'm watching what's happening in Venezuela, and I never want to think it can't happen to us. And I want us to exercise our right to be able to vote and to have choices for ourselves. Yeah, well, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, so to end the episode, I want to end the episode with a Bible verse. That's the roots to my life and how I feel that my life has gotten better. So regardless of what you believe in, hopefully you can pick something up from this, because I feel like universally, all religions just want good things to happen to you for you to be a good person. So for me, this one is coming from the Bible, and it's Hebrews 11:1, and it says, faith means being sure of the things we hope for and knowing that something is real even if we do not see it, aka that's basically faith. So faith is being sure of the things we hope for. And you just have to be sure whatever you're hoping for, whatever you're praying for, whatever it is that you want. You've prayed about it, you've sat still with it, and you know that that's literally where you need to go. Know that even though you can't see it, it is real. I could have never imagined having a business that will grow 7 figures in 2 years. Not in a million years. Not in a million years. That to me, it's like, how? That I'm able to give someone a salary, like how? How is that even possible? That's all possible because of what literally it says here in Hebrews 11:1. It's like faith means being sure of the things we hope for and not knowing and hope for, knowing that something is real, even if we do not see it. I can't see half of the things that I say. When I talk to Courtney and I tell him, like, I want this. I feel like we can do this, or I feel like we can do that, or we need to pull out. It's like, I can't see it. I can't feel it. Can't touch it. I can't open up a screenshot and show them what it's going to be. But I have hope and I believe that what I can't see is real. And eventually it happens. Some call it manifesting. Some call it, the grace of God. Some call it Allah. Some call it the universe, whatever it may be. I call it my Jesus, my faith, and my manifestation within all of that. So I urge you to really, really take a second to look for the things that you really hope for, believe in them, and know that even though you can't touch it and you can't see it, it is real. That is today's episode. Thank you for tuning in to another week of Pivot with Purpose. And please don't forget, if you got to the end of this episode, I know you really rock with me. I know that you're my road dog. I know you'll be here with me forever. So please make sure to leave an Apple Podcast review or go into my YouTube and say something. Say something. I'm hanging on you. I forgot what the words are. But you know what song I'm talking about? That white people song? Say something, I'm giving up on you. That's what it says. Say something, I'm giving up on you. Terrible singing. But say something. Say something on YouTube. Say something on Apple. And I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.